So today we're going to be talking about starting from seed. Our vegetable growing season is finally coming back, and I know a lot of you are just really anxious to get started. It seems like spring fever has really been kicking in strong this year. It's only mid-February and everyone's just itching to start planting. So we're going to talk a little bit about starting from seed. Pretty soon you'll actually be able to start the seedlings indoors, and you'll also be able to get started on your cold season crops. So we're going to just go right down to the beginning and basics. So basically, we're going to start with starting seeds indoors since it's still pretty cold outside, and we're looking at some our freezing weather continuing for probably a month or two. So basically, you just need to find yourself a space in the house. Now, it might be something very simple. It might be on top of the fridge or in the windowsill or on the table in a nook somewhere, or you might have a nice big setup if you've got one of those nice big gardens and got a whole big shelving unit going, a great big table, whatever you've got. Find your space, and then what you want to do is find some containers. Usually, now as for the size, they can be anywhere from, maybe this big, and then you would transplant up into bigger and bigger containers. Some people like to do it that way. They'll get a tray similar to this that has a lot of 72 compartments in it. It'll start real small and then kind of go up. I find it's a little bit easier to start just a little bit bigger. This is a plantable pot. This isn't a package, but it's actually about this big, and then you're not transplanting so much. Makes it very simple. Put your pots into some kind of tray like this, and just water and give it light and get it started. So this way you're not up potting so much. I sometimes I'll either use plantable containers like this. I'll use 6 packs, that flowers and vegetables had come in. I'll just wash them with soap and water and reuse them. Those are a really good size. These are really useful too. It's a little peat pellet, and basically you soak this in water and it expands. It gets about this tall, just about the right size. And by the time the roots fill that, it's time to plant outside. So it's a good size to go with. Just makes it very easy. Eggshells will work. Basically, when you crack your eggs, you just got to make sure you take off only the top so that there's plenty of space inside of the thing. Take a little, like a pen or needle or something, poke a little hole in the bottom of the eggshell so that you have drainage. Eggshells will work. Another one, this one I've been using a lot lately, the eggshell cartons. If it's the paper pulp, get those. They're just the right size. You can fill them with soil. And again, put them in a tray like this. You don't have to worry about drainage holes. The water just kind of seeps through the paper. So everybody's different, just find something that's about the right size, holds a little soil and a few seeds, and you're ready to go. Yeah, the eggshell you can put in the ground, I can kind of crack it up a little bit so the roots can get out. And basically, a nice thing about plantable pots that will include the peat pellets. These can go directly in the ground. These pots here are made from a natural fiber. They can go directly in the ground. The eggshells or the egg cartons, they can go directly into the ground. And sometimes you have to cut them or a little bit just to help the roots get out a little easier, but you're supposed to be able to get through it. But it never hurts to help a little bit. But sometimes it's better to go with the plantable types simply because there are some seedlings that don't like being transplanted. So it just disturbs the root less if you don't have to take it out of its pot and then try to get it into the ground. So plantable types are always very useful. So and you can even actually put the soil directly into the tray. Poke some holes in the tray, put it directly in, plant all the seeds in there, and then when you're ready, again, you wouldn't do this with the ones that don't like being disturbed, but you would just cut it like a cake. When you're ready to plant, cut it like a cake, scoop it out with a spatula, and put it in. So some people like to do it that way. One method that has become less common these days is to plant them directly into the soil and then actually pluck the seedling out. You grab, when it comes out, when it's still very young, all it's got are 2 tiny little leaves on it. You grab the leaves, not the stem, because you can crush the stem. Grab the leaves and just gently pull up. It doesn't have a lot of root to hold it in the soil at that point. It's generally just that one main root. So you can pull them out and then put them into a bigger container. Some people like to do it that way. I find it's becoming less popular though. So basically getting them started, the main thing is going to be light. And the question I get most often is, does it have to be a grow light? It doesn't have to be a grow light. All light bulbs give full spectrum, all of them. It can be the old-fashioned light bulbs, it can be the fluorescent lights, it doesn't matter, LED, whatever you like to go with, they all give full spectrum, so no problem. Pick a light. The nice thing about grow lights is that if you try to use a regular lamp like this, well, this doesn't work too well because you actually want the light right over the soil. I mean, almost touching it. And you want the light to be spread out all over all of the seedlings. So when you try to use a lamp like this, you can see that all the light's way over here. It's not gonna work too well. So that's when it becomes nice to find something that has the hardware that works a little bit better. This is a desk lamp. You can repurpose things like this. And this is a desk lamp. You can see it's wider, and you can bend it down, bend the neck down, and get it over the seedlings. And like I said, at first you actually want the light almost touching the soil. And then as the seedlings grow, you have to raise the light a little bit until they're, so that they're not touching the bulb. You don't want them to touch the bulb or the burn. So now this one again, it's only got 1 bulb, so it doesn't have a lot of coverage. But if you only got a small number of seeds, I've used stuff like this before and that'll work. If you've got a bigger operation, like grow lights, the hardware is just made for that operation. There's a lot of different types. Some of them fit on the underside of a shelf, so if you have all your seeds on a shelving unit, you can put a light on each shelf. It'll be on the underside of the shelf shining down onto the seeds. Some of them are made to hang from the ceiling and shine on a table. Some of them might have a neck like this. They're all different kinds. So if you are doing something a little bit bigger, you might want to look at grow lights just because they're made for the purpose. But really it's about the hardware. It's not about the bulb. Really isn't. So find your lighting. The lighting is going to be very important. A lot of you, if you've tried to start seeds and you notice the first thing that happened was they flopped over, just laid up flat on the soil, that's lack of light. The light, if they're not getting enough and the light's not close enough, what it will do is it allows fungal spores to start growing, and they eat away at the base of the seedling. And so finally the seedling just rots at the base and falls over. And so you end up losing your whole crop that way. So get that light right on those seedlings. Don't be afraid to give them too much. They love light. They thrive on it, so give them lots of light.